Mr. Jakub, can you give us a quick or brief introduction about MatterFi?
Sure. So at MatterFi, we're building an easy-to-use fintech infrastructure that's making all the finance, especially crypto, easy to use and also more secure for humans and robots. Because we believe that there's no infrastructure there yet that's going to properly secure users.
That's good. What problems does MatterFi provide to solve?
Sure. So we see three major problems right now. First is accessibility, right? So there's a lot of elements of today's infrastructure that make it very complicated for the newcomers, especially, such as complicated addresses for each and every chain different. And they are very much prone to error, which is another problem, which is the security stuff. And then also there's a trust problem, meaning how do I know who's actually on the other side when I make any transactions, right? Yeah. So there are three major problems, accessibility, security, and also trust that we're trying to tackle.
How do you plan or how do you solve those problems? What features do you provide?
Yeah. So we build on our infrastructure a couple of key features. First is we replace the receiving addresses with the names. So you've got an easy to read name such as Bob or Alice. And those names are a universal global identifiers to receive all types of crypto.
Yeah.
So that means instead of using those convoluted addresses, I can simply type Bob and send it over, whether this is going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, any type of digital asset, directly to Bob. That's the first feature. Now, the second thing is that because we are using dynamic address generation, those names are completely private. So they are not exposed to, whale tracking, and third-party observers that might be looking into hacking those names, because they will not be able to tell how much money each user actually has.
Yeah.
And we also build an encrypted chat so that we can facilitate the conversation between the users that will allow them to build trust. So not only I can chat to Bob via our infra, but also I can ask him to prove that he's actually Bob, that he's claiming to be.
Yes.
And then he can use the option cryptographic proof of his identity, shoot it over to me, and then I know for sure that I'm sending to Bob. This is how we build trust.
Interesting. Okay. We all know providing easy to use technology comes with a little bit depending on centralization. How do you face that challenge?
Okay, so our infra is by default completely decentralized. So everything that I just described is being run by the user himself. So Bob is the only person that actually can access his funds. It's a fully non-custodial wallet and fully non-custodial solution, and it's the only person that can actually interact.
Everything on the blockchain.
Everything happens on the blockchain, and everything happens peer-to-peer between the users. So we as an infra provider, we don't touch people's private keys, obviously, and therefore any assets or any communication between them.
Cool. That's very cool. So what are the key principles that MatterFi convergence engine operates on?
So the key part is that's a bit tech oriented, yeah, but exactly. it's the
a little deep.
It's a little deeper. So first of all is the option cryptographic proofs, because what is missing right now is it's very hard to prove your identity on chain right now. So we've solved that problem by building a protocol that actually allows for connection between your identifier, this name, let's say Bob, with option cryptographic credentials. So let's say you want to do the KYC because you're onboarding for a crypto exchange.
Yeah.
So you do the KYC with some third-party provider. They sign cryptographically that you are actually you. And we attach this cryptographic proof of you being you to your name so that you can send it over to an exchange and make an irrefutable proof of who you are against this counterparty.
And the exchange doesn't get your information.
It's up to the
only
user.
Get the sign of that are you.
It gets whatever it needs. So basically, it's going to be up to the user what kind of information he shares with the exchange, but it gets the proof of that being done with the third party. So it's fully cryptographically related. So we are basically solving the problem of trust and identifying who's on the other side. But at the same time, we're tackling the technical problem right now, which is because there are a couple of companies that are trying to facilitate transactions between the user. You see more and more companies building names or domain systems, right? But the problem with those domain systems is that they are typically mapped to static addresses. So that means if someone knows your domain, they can look up all the history, all your balances, which is obviously a massive privacy issue. So we've solved that because on our infrastructure, what we do is we dynamically compute the receiving addresses between two users uniquely. Meaning, if I'm sending money to Bob, to his name, I'm sending it to an address that only I could compute together with Bob. So if Alice would send money to Bob, it will land on a different address, etc., etc., etc. So that's a massive improvement over any domain or a name system out there right now.
All those addresses are connected to Bob's wallet.
Exactly. Yeah. So the wallet. So what Bob sees, that he sees that the final balance that includes all the assets that he has on all those addresses that he computed together with different parties.
So it's not traceable at all.
It's really hard. It's really hard to trace it. So therefore, Bob can confidently share his name, put it out there, and anyone can send him money, but no one will be able to actually map all his receiving addresses to his name.
Privacy of history.
Yes, but at the same time, it's not a mixer because you've seen like a lot of, super privacy coins or some bridges.
Yeah.
But they will never be compliant, meaning they will never get a public massive adoption because this is just hiding transaction. On our system, we are not hiding transactions because they are visible on the blockchain, on the native blockchains.
You're just making them not connected to each other.
Exactly. We are just making sure that no third-party observer can see what kind of transaction Bob or anyone else has done.
I gotta say, this is a great idea.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Finally, what are your plans for 2025?
Oh, it's going to be a big year for us because the technology is right now in the late beta stage. So we're going to put it out there for the world to use, probably Q1. We also have got some AI plans that we'll share. We're building an AI agent that will operate the wallet so that it understands the plain English and is going to run locally on your device for the privacy concerns. And you will essentially be able to tell him, okay, just send 100 USDT to Bob every week, right? And it will understand that stuff. We actually did the first alpha version of it, and we're planning to put it out there for the public Q1.
I'm excited. I'm excited to try your products.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.